Chapter 1. This situation feels unfair. In 5th grade, I won the red and black mountain bike in a school-wide raffle. On a flight home from vacation in college, I won the passenger grand prize giveaway, $200. I've won holiday gift baskets at multiple office parties. I've won social media giveaways. I've never purchased a lottery ticket, but I've often thought I should give it a shot. I've always been a lucky person. I feel much the same way when it comes to my faith. I had every advantage growing up. I was raised in a Christian household, went to church most Sundays, attended Sunday school and vacation Bible school, and had some degree of solid Christian community. I never had an overwhelmingly negative experience at church, and most of the religious folks I knew were genuine and well-meaning. Most of my extended family identified, at least culturally, as Christian, and what's more, I was raised in South Carolina, right in the middle of the Bible Belt. In terms of external obstacles to faith, I had very few. So I can get caught up on the fact that so many of my non-believing friends didn't have the same advantages I did. I often feel less chosen, more like I was entered into a cosmic birth lottery and hit the jackpot. Sometimes it feels unfair to me, like I had a better shot than others. This thought keeps me up at night. Even more than the pain, confusion, doubt, and despair I feel about my loved ones' eternities, my own luck distresses me. Maybe this thought has crossed your mind as well. I have friends who come from abusive homes, friends who grew up in families that followed different religions or none at all, and many friends whose backgrounds include some questionable church theology or even mistreatment by church congregations or leadership. It's no wonder that of the few of them who have realized the possibility of God's existence, even fewer have chosen to follow him. Such a leap to faith would be great, and the odds of it happening just seem low. I feel that even if I shared the gospel with these friends 1,000 times over, their response would, at best, be, "That's nice." In fact, I'd go so far as to say I have done this, perhaps not 1,000 times, but definitely dozens. Still, the people I love go about their daily lives apart from Christ, terrifyingly unaware of what eternity could hold for them. If you're anything like me, you read the accounts in the Bible of entire villages rejecting the gospel and Jesus' command for the disciples to leave those towns and shake the dust from their feet, and you think to yourself, what if people I love live in that town? And you might wonder, how could a God who crafted man in his image, ordaining each individual's personal existence, leave entire cities behind, shaking the dust from his feet on the way out? If we were to stop here, we might say this all seems pretty unfair, if not cruel, especially when our loved ones seem to be in that village. One night, after sharing dinner at Charlotte's apartment, I was struck particularly hard by the realization that this person I adored continued to live her life separated from her creator. And she didn't even know. No words of mine seemed to have an impact on her beliefs or even her curiosity. Walking to my car that evening, I couldn't stop thinking, if she were to die today, she'd spend eternity in a place most of us don't like to think about, let alone discuss. The unfairness of the situation seemed to wrap around my heart and constrict it. Crying the entire way home, I let God know how confused I was. I let him know how little sense it made that he'd created mankind, only to let so many be consumed by the world, never learning to worship him. I turned off the radio and the air conditioner, and I drove home with tears blurring the streetlights. It seemed to be a very cruel world indeed. But as I cried out to the Lord, I felt the Spirit gently remind me that I was right. Nothing in this world is entirely fair, and it never will be. This world, in many regards, is an experience in cruelty. But there's good news, too. God is not cruel, and he's certainly not unfair. In fact, he meets us in the unfairness we experience,